Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello and welcome back to my channel, How to Paint Watercolours with me, Colin. I've stretched my paper and I'm just leaving a very thin film of water on it, taking all the excess from off the sides. And this is a Bob Ross one, done in watercolours. This is called Hunter's Haven. This is Naples yellow plus cadmium yellow deep. Strip that in. I'm using a mop brush. Just a touch of alizarin crimson. A light wash of cobalt blue and phthalo blue mixed together. Being as we don't use liquid white, we have to arrive roughly the same colour as Bob by using other colours to mix it with. Bringing all the colours nicely together. Then while we have that like that, this is a stronger mix of the same colour, phthalo blue and cobalt blue. And we're just going to put a couple of streaks in, just to put some movement in the sky. Okay, and now we have to allow this to dry. Okay, now that your sky's dry, I've just set the board at a slight angle and I'm just going to re-wet these, the background tree area here with some clean water. Then taking a grey blue mixture of phthalo blue and cobalt blue, just mixed with a little bit of burnt umber, and we're just going to test its strength, and it might need to be a little bit weaker than that, so I'll just add a little bit of water to that and just pull the trees, just an indication, very pale. Don't make them all the same size, I think you've heard me say this before. And I'm just going to add a little bit of the yellow into it, which was the Naples yellow and cad yellow deep. It's very, very pale. I'm encouraging these to come down a little bit into the yellow, give a little bit of mist. Just keeping the bottom part of this wet. And then we'll have to leave each little piece to dry as we come more forward into the painting, and that's how we build it up. So we want to leave this to dry off, and then we'll put the next set of trees in. Now that that's dried, we come to these middle trees here, and I'm just re-wetting just part of the bottom, not all the way up, because we want these to be misty as well, but slightly stronger. Same colour once again, but I'm not adding water to it, so it's a lot stronger. Well, it's stronger. We want a little bit of detail on these, and then as it hits the water, it becomes misty and it will diffuse. I'm just going to take a damp brush with some clean water. So I've just run it through my fingers, and we're just going to soften these into the background. And then taking your mop brush once again, and I'm just going to dry this slightly. And this is some cadmium yellow deep. I'm just going to break it open. I'm not sure if you can see that. That'd be better. And I'm just breaking the hairs open on the brush. The beginnings of a tree here, bush. Burnt sienna. I'm just going to see how strong this is. I don't want it to be too strong. I might just touch that in with a bit of water. And with some clean water once again, we come to this background mound of trees here, and I'm just wetting it slightly. And then with a slightly stronger version of the other colour, only this is just French ultramarine and burnt umber, just to make it a little stronger and a little less pale of the grey. We can start to put these in. Let it hit the water on the ground and bleed into the ground. well, it will just attach itself. It's just bleeding into the damp side of that backwash at the moment, but I don't mind that. Taking a damp brush, soften these in, and I'm just going to drop in just a little bit of colour. Cad Yellow Deep, French Ultramarine and Raw Umber. And I just want to drop a little bit of this in. Just a drop of burnt sienna as well, I think. Just adds a little bit more to it. Soften it in. Tiny bit more grey here. A little bit more of the colour for this one. I'm just going to come back and finish off these trees again. Add a little bit more shape and form. Once again with a damp brush, soften off the bottoms, pulling some of the colour along. A little bit of water there. Back once again to this little chap. Once again taking a damp brush, soften it in. And then we need this to dry off a little bit, and then we'll come forward again in the picture. Once again coming forward a little with this one here, French Ultramarine and Burnt Umber. And I'm just going to take a wash of Cadmium Yellow Deep, just thinning it out with water. Of course, when it hits the grey, because it contains the blue, you will get the green. Cadmium Yellow Deep and Burnt Sienna. Then into that just some streaks of Burnt Sienna. And I'm just going to take some of your tree mixture, and we're just going to run a little dark shoreline in here. Soften it down. Bring some of the tree colour into the wet wash. Just add in a little bit more strength to it. I'd just like to add a bit of green in here now, just for a little bit of a different flavour. Just adds a little bit more interest to it. Take your damp brush once again, soften that in. Just a little darker. Just soften it once again. Lifting a little paint out there. Just adds a bit of variation to the land. Now that that's dry, we're just going to put the top of this tree in with a very small detail round brush. This is a stronger mixture of the French Ultramarine and Burnt Umber. Just take your time building them up. You'll get there. Don't be in too much of a rush. You make mistakes. Check that you've got it nicely filled out. Cadmium Yellow Deep, French Ultramarine and Raw Umber. I'm just going to drop some of this in. This is the same green, but it has more yellow in it. Just want to wash this in. Same colour, but this has more blue in it. And I'm just going to bring this tree all the way down, just to touch the other colour. Just adding some into the grass for some little bit of variation, and it will just deepen the green as the blue in the grey mixes with the green and the yellow. I'm going to take a little bit of clean water, and I'm just going to put this around the hunter's cabin, bring a little bit up into there. Taking some of the yellow green, just a very bit. I just want to give the indication that there's something going on at the back here. Bringing the same colour all the way through. French Ultramarine, Cadmium Yellow Deep, some Raw Umber. Stronger version of the same colour. Taking some of the grey from your background trees. I'm just going to pull a little bit in here. little burnt sienna. Just re-wetting that little area there. Pale green first. Let's add some of the, I think it's a path. Just adding some of the darker green in. And I think we're going to leave that to dry up for a couple of minutes. I've just given the cabin here a little shot of cobalt blue, and I'm just going to add some of the grey of your tree mixture into the washes. It's just drying, and giving it some shadows. Once again, coming down to this area of land here, just giving it a quick re-wet. Some of the yellow green, some of the darker green, and I just want to drop some burnt sienna in there as well. There's a little shot of burnt sienna in there, soften it in. French ultramarine and burnt umber. And I'm just using a rigger for this, but you can use any brush that you feel comfortable with. Just bring one or two branches out. Taking a damp brush once again, just soften it into the grass. And I'm just going to run some thick ultramarine and burnt umber along here. Then with my trusty palette knife, I'm just going to scrape one or two rocks in here. That little shoreline here. Damp brush and just soften that in. Soften some of this back as well. Just taking my rigger brush, I'm just going to bring some dark shadows under this eave. Some planks. Just put a window in. Time to put this big tree in. This is the cadmium yellow deep and burnt sienna once again. Just dropping a little bit of the grey in, of the dark mixture, French ultramarine and burnt umber. Moving to my rigger brush, I'm just going to put a few branches on. Put a little bark on it. Pull it into the grass. Get some foots, as Bob would say. Just a little shoreline here. Okay, now we leave all this to dry and then we can put the lake in. I've just re-wet the whole of the pond area and I've just mirrored the sky colours. Unfortunately the battery went on the camera, I think, and it didn't tape it, so I'm very sorry, but that's all I did. And I'm just adding just all the colours that are in the sky, a little bit in the background as well. Feeding it in and just pulling it forward very slowly. Just a little in here, I think. While I'm here, I just want to soften this edge if I can here. Soften it into the hut so the building doesn't look stuck on. And maybe I'll just take out a little bit of paint down the middle, just for a little bit more interest. Okay, now I'm going to leave that to dry. Okay, all the water's dry now. I've just scratched in a couple of Wind Street lines with a craft knife and a ruler, and we've just got this little tree to put in here, so we're just going to put this in. That's just a bit of burnt sienna. I'm thinking some burnt umber and French ultramarine. We can put some branches on. Once again, taking a damp brush, just soften that little bit off into the grass. A few blades of grass here. And then you get round to the best bit. This is where you get to sign it, mount it and frame it. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click the like button and subscribe. Subscribers are always welcome. And if you'd like to see the other videos I've made for YouTube, I will put a link in the description box, and if you click on that, it will take you straight to them. So once again, thank you very much for watching.